Hi everyone, if there is any feet in this video, I apologize. I don't like you. So if you're new to my channel, my name is Anne, and today I'll be talking a little bit about public speaking. I do a lot of public speaking. I talk about my life when I was younger and did science fair projects and inventions, things like that, and I have regularly presented to groups of over 1,500 people, and I'm very, very comfortable with it, and it is kind of one of my main sources of income / job. So whether you are needing some tips for public speaking for just a class project or you're going to be speaking in front of a group of people for the first time, I thought I'd give you a couple pointers of some things that at least I have found to be helpful for myself. And I'm 19 years old, and I obviously am not like an expert in public speaking, so this is just my opinions. And if you have any other suggestions for people, leave them down in the comments below and I'll be sure to check them all out. Let's get started.
It's gross.
You're gross. The first tip I would give is to make sure that you speak slowly and enunciate everything you say. Because you'll be so conscious of trying to enunciate and really finish all the ends of your words, you'll actually be slower when you talk. So that will kind of be like a two-in-one thing. People are not impressed by people who talk really fast, even though I tend to, but I try to slow it down. And obviously, if you're going to talk really fast, they're not going to be able to absorb everything you're actually saying, so it's kind of defeating the whole purpose of you getting up in front of them and talking. So just remember to talk really slowly and use the pauses to your advantage, either for like a dramatic pause, for like emotional reconciliation with the audience, or if you forget what you're going to say, you can kind of like pause and think about it and then continue. Also, something that totally kills any presentation is fidgeting. If you're prone to fidgeting, the only advice I can give you is practice enough by yourself until you stop, because it is so distracting and will 100% take away from your presentation. I'm sorry to be a downer, especially if you roll on your heels up and down. It is so distracting, and it's just try not to. Or you can practice with like weights on your feet or something. There's a quote that I heard a long time ago that goes, "If you can't explain it simply, you don't know it well enough." A lot of people, when they first approach public speaking and they know they have a speech coming up, they'll write out line by line every single thing they're going to say. But if you know your topic well enough, you don't have to do that. For me, at least the advice that I do and that I would give you guys is to write out the 5 kind of main points of what you want to say in one sentence that's completely summarized and straight to the point. From there, since you know this like one point you want to give, you can kind of build around that and deliver your ideas in a much more fluid and natural way versus like you speaking off a piece of paper or your phone, even worse. If you know your subject well enough, you're going to be very comfortable and you won't need to write a full script out. Like right before you practice alone or in front of your parents or someone, like close your eyes and imagine yourself in front of a group of people, and then you kind of present like that, and that's always really helped me out. One of the best ways to kind of bridge that gap between your normal self and the audience is to use humor, and just crack a joke. Like you can prepare these if you want, or just like based off kind of how the audience is reacting, you can make a joke. Self-deprecating humor, to a certain point, is always a winner for audiences, especially, I mean, for me, I talk about myself a lot, so obviously I'm gonna make jokes about myself. My nose is glowing. Okay, sorry. One pointer is to wear whatever you feel most comfortable in. When I first started doing public speaking, I didn't know what to wear, so I was always wearing like a blazer and like all this stuff, and I never felt comfortable wearing it. And I found later on, once I took the blazer off and I was just wearing like a comfy tee and some like dress pants and like my platform shoes, I felt much more comfortable. Never dress for business to the extent where you're wearing something you don't like or you don't feel comfortable in. Another quick tip is to tell a story. All humans love being told stories. That's just like something obvious that's been through history, through fairy tales and all these other stories, to films, which is basically us sitting down and being shown a story. So when it comes to speeches, people love hearing a story and like, what's gonna happen next? What's the conflict? All those different things. So to make it interesting, see if you can make your speech kind of in the shape of a storyline. Lastly, there is nothing to be nervous about. And I know a lot of people are like, oh hun, like, what are you talking about? Like, I hate groups of people and talking in front of them, all that stuff. There is absolutely nothing to be nervous about. I cannot emphasize that enough. When you go on stage, everyone in the audience has a super open mind and they see the best in you and they're all cheering for you. So if you stutter a little bit, which I tend to do sometimes, or you like stumble a little bit, or you forget what you're going to say next, it's okay, because we're all human and that's totally acceptable. It's not embarrassing to mess up in front of people. Like, we do that on a day-to-day basis, like, all the time. If you get to a certain point where you're comfortable with yourself and you're confident in what you're going to say and what you believe in, then you won't be nervous at all, and it's going to be a really enjoyable experience. There's like nothing to be nervous about. Like, when I go on stage, I can't think of anything I could possibly be nervous about. Like, if I mess up, like, it's okay. Like, if I'm funny, if they think I'm weird, that's fine. Like, that's gonna happen in real life anyways. Honestly, just don't be nervous. It's fine. Everyone messes up, and everyone understands that. Yeah, so those are my top tips. In summary, don't make it too formal. Tell a story. No fidgeting. If you give a terrible speech, but you don't fidget, it's going to be way better than if you give a great speech and you're fidgeting. So just try not to fidget. Channel your nervous energy of fidgeting into like taking wide paces around the stage and like giving like emphatic arm gestures like this, which I do. You can bring like one flashcard up with your points and like anything you think you'll forget. I've had times where I've literally written it on my hand and then just gone on stage and just glanced at it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you have any more suggestions of things you would like me to talk about, let me know. Okay, bye!